NFM Radio. NFM Radio. Emudaho. Minia, tie fire will burn you. Ewo NFM Radio. Jumedia Mansa Musa ede bro. Ejuada kopem memneda. Enumre non song. Ekopem non do. Listen to Fire Will Burn You on NFM Radio with Mansa Musa Monday to Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Welcome to the show, Mansa Musa. It's a beautiful, beautiful Friday evening here in London. And I am really sure that everything that you've gone through this week has been a success. Once again, we are here to discuss everything, including everything. One good question, though, is that what do you make? What do you make of Adwoa Safo's or Safwa or Adwoa Safo's return in groveling apologies? Groveling apologies. Has politics become so informal, or a job at any public office? Being a public servant, has it become so informal? Seriously, if anybody can abscond, just go away forever and ever until they are happy and they come back. Whether she's a school headmistress, headmaster, a principal, a lecturer, she's a principal, secretary at the ministries, wherever the fellow is working at, and whoever he works for. Will it be appropriate that the people just get away and they just give excuses or a reason that they've got family issues, and they wouldn't bother anything, they wouldn't return any sort of request for information or anything? But when they are really satisfied, happy, and ready to go, and they come back and they render apologies, should that be all? Should that be all? And should they be taken back in whatever jobs they were doing? What do you think about this? What do you make of this Adwoa Safo case? For me, I'm not surprised, because even Kennedy Japan want to be president of Ghana. Anyway, tonight we have a lot to discuss. My guest will be none other than Professor Frimpong Boateng. I think he doesn't need too much introduction. We have acquaintance with him. Ghanaians know him very well. He was heading the infamous interministerial something against Galamsey. And as they say, the rest is history. People say he's now shedding crocodile tears, and that when he was in the thick of affairs and things were wrong, he should have been more forceful, more outright or forthright. So people don't want to give him the benefit of doubt. Others though are saying that look, the man is telling the truth, and that he was under some sort of pressure. He wasn't free to explain or express himself about everything that went on and everything, you see. So I don't know exactly what you think, but that is what people think, that the two sides of the coin, that Professor Frimpong Boateng has done well by coming out in the end to explain certain issues. Others too are saying that I mean, he's all part of it because maybe because he's now jilted and he's now been sidelined. That's why he's talking all this talking. And so I don't know what you think, but tonight and today, this morning, we confirmed that he's coming on the Zoom link to come and discuss stuff. The main discussion will be around what he has written, an open letter everywhere saying that both NDC and MPP have, misplaced the trust that Ghanaians had in them, and that they've both failed. In fact, the way he puts it, it means they've both failed equally. And with that, I don't know what you, the listeners, are thinking. What do you reckon? You think Professor Frimpong Boateng is right that NPP and NDC have failed the same as so many people would like us or want us to believe? So apart from that, and apart from the Adwoa Safo debacle, the main story in town is that for those who are going around, firefighting for the EC executives, anytime they come out, they say things which, in the end tend to, they say misguided things. And whatever they say in the end implicates them, put them in a bad light. Like Boss Masari say, well, if we are not supposed to do this and that, and if you don't want to vote, it's not compulsory. Certain pronouncements, certain comments, if you say it in any well-established, not the completely, how do I say it, perfect governance, but it's just the well-established governance. Some comments like that, you are gone. You see, but my small beef I will have with the EC is that all the argument going about, especially from the MPP side, who claims that they don't speak for the EC, and yet whenever they sit on a panel, if I don't speak for that organization, I will say, look, I have my own view, but really I cannot say anything about what these people are doing because honestly, I have my own view. But then if you go on to understand everything certain people or some organizations are doing, and you tend to defend it, somebody say, oh, these people, what they are doing is wrong, it will disenfranchise some people or makes life very difficult and unbearable for the people concerned, the stakeholders, i.e. People who have attained or reached the age where they can vote. That is 18 years and above, so we can say 18, 19, 20, maybe 25. Then maybe some people that previously, due to so many things, couldn't register. You see, the point is, If someone comes to say the EC is putting impediments, making it rather difficult for people to register, instead of the EC making it easy or easier, there's never easy things, but easier, it should be, comfortable or convenient. If people are saying that EC is doing things to make it very difficult for people, maybe deliberately or not deliberately, and you come to support and insinuate certain, what do we call it, or make certain insinuations, trying to protect the EC or the image of the EC, it means you are on the part or on the side of the EC, and that is what the NPP communicators. Another thing I've seen about these NPP communicators is that they are, they've designed a certain strategy, a certain trick that I'm sure the NDC fraternity have not realized, and that is anytime they meet on a platform anywhere, when this EC issue comes up, most of them, I've heard them saying, honestly, the EC should try and change its mind or their minds. Honestly, yeah, it's true. It is making it difficult for people to move here and there and that. But what they don't say is they support the other parties that this EC is wrong and that they support, vehemently or forcibly want to tell the EC to do the right thing. That one there you hear them saying. So it's a trick. When they say that, we seriously, agree, appreciate what the NDC man is saying. Yeah, the EC, my constituency, people have to travel here and there. They say that to diffuse any sort of serious opprobrium or scrutiny. The moment you have a panelist, sitting opposite you, arguing, and now he has come to side with you or something, it softens your position. That's what the NPP people are doing, cynically. And the quicker the NDC people will catch up, the better. But so my question tonight, I've put it, in a tongue-in-cheek manner, just rhetorical, that it looks as if they say the EC is independent. We keep hearing they are independent. The EC is independent. Independent of what? I, Mansa Musa, want to know. The EC is independent of what? Because after all, say every institution, everything that operates in Ghana must be guided by the law. So the EC being independent of, let's say, the executive, the parliament, even the EC is not independent of parliament. So why do people still create the impression that EC is sacrosanct, untouchable? The EC is independent. So the EC is independent, so they can choose which laws and rules they are going to obey and the ones they can ignore or they would like to ignore. Because if really you have been, someone has taken a petition or injunction to court has actually agreed, and a bailiff who should be a lawyer is bringing you the court summons or something to alert you that you are wanted in court, you barricade your house that you won't let the person in. Not because the recipient or the intended target is not in the household, but the gate man says he won't let you in because he has been instructed not to let you in. Then we are saying, look, one day a private citizen or somebody, can it be lawful that they do that and just get away with it? Because someone, everyone can decide that whatever they are doing is independent. They are doing it in their home or something. Because, this independent tag or, the attributes or, the character of the EC being independent, people should stop saying it. They are not independent of anything. They depend on so many things, on the laws of the land. They are subject to the laws of the land. Can't be independent to do what you like, what you want. If you choose to obey and disobey certain laws, it is just illegal. Now, I don't know how the Ghana should be run anymore. Honestly, I don't know. To support illegality in a formal way, in public. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, if a court in a land in Ghana, says that's the court, they're looking, someone, whatever you want to do, you, the EC, you are part of, you're an organization tasked to run elections. The way you've started the process, some people don't understand, they think you are wrong. They've brought this injunction, come and explain yourself. Obviously, people go around explaining that, look, we have now heard so many parts of the Constitution. They are reading and rereading, everybody trying to explain what it is, the context and concept, everything, right? That is fine. You read the Constitution and everything and explain anyhow you want. But still, you are not independent. Because the Constitution has given rights to the court. And since you know or you think you are doing the right thing, you just go to the court. It will take maybe less than 1 hour for you to explain that this hue and cry and noise and kicking and shouting by opposition and the rest of them is neither here nor there, because we are doing the right thing. You explain it to court. Court say, okay, go ahead, carry on. No one to disturb him, the EC again. But for some people to actually support this, this disregard for simple rule of law, disregard and disrespect the laws of the land. A bailiff is presenting something, right? Presenting something, whether whoever the recipient or the target is not at home or is not there, that is a different thing. It's not there. But to be stopped from presenting the petition or the court order, that is against the law. You don't have to withdraw, and I'm a lawyer, and you are not a lawyer, and this is not a lawyer, and in law, I don't have to read all those books to know that, look, the EC will have to respond to the court. It doesn't mean they are at fault or they are guilty of anything. Not yet. Just have to respond to the court. And that one people are supporting. The EC not to respond to the court. And so it comes down to all this. It comes down to this. The problem, the questions people are asking, that you say we should try to cherish, we should cherish, how do we say it? We should safeguard democracy. We should protect it proudly. Democracy is good, so we should protect it. We should save it. Now that democracy have got its, what do we call it? It has got its rules, its regulations, its processes and procedures, things to do, how to do everything. The basic fundamental procedure in the world is that someone is aggrieved, someone doesn't understand why something is going on. The law doesn't give someone who doesn't understand what the EC is doing. The law does not permit them to start, flying arrows and shooting pistols and AK-47 or throwing bombs. No. The law forbids that. Or the law prohibits that. But what the law says is that if you are not satisfied with the process or processes of anything, all you got to do is to go to court. The law says that. Go to court. See the lawyers. See people, those, how do we call it? Talk to those people who have been trained to, explain, to interpret the laws. That's all that the law says we should do. Okay, thank you. All right. You, the person who called, if you call again, I will put you through. You see, so the law tells us, the process, that if you are grieved, if you have grievance, You don't like anything that is happening in the country. If whoever is doing, even the president is doing it, the head of the military is doing it, all these people, go to the court. You go to court, they cannot start to hear from you or judge the case without hearing the other side. So what they will say is, okay, fine. These people want to go to fishing. I mean, go for some fish, catching fish. I mean, go on fishing expedition, or they want to go to sea to catch some fish, right? And it is a Tuesday. We have some norms already that you don't fish or you don't go to sea on Tuesdays. And these people say they want to go because next Wednesday they have a feshe or some festival and they are going to be busy, so they want it out. Yes, okay, the law says you don't understand. Don't fight. Don't fight. Just go to court. So you go to court, the court will now, request that who you are being accused, the accused must come and explain if the accused has anything to explain. So the court will decide that, okay, you the accused, stop whatever you are doing, come to court Sunday or Friday, because next week, Wednesday, Tuesday, you want to go to sea, to go and catch some fish, right? But come to the court to explain. Somebody has brought an injunction or a complaint about the activities that you guys are doing on the sea. Anything. That is the law. That's the procedure. And everybody is required. We are all required to be lawful. We are required. Whether every one of us can do or maintain that is another thing, but we are required. Individually and as a group. So if a whole organization like the Electoral Commission is actually physically stopping the deliverer of a letter from the court, someone who is presenting a message from the court, the EC is preventing that fellow into their premises to deliver that message. That is against the law. So why this impunity? Why? Is it because of the manner of government or governance in situ, because of the people, the current government, that is why this is happening, or what? And they will tell you not to say that. They will say MPP doesn't know anything about it. Who says the EC is so independent that they can actually flout the laws? I mean, just you. Do you really, let's say, understand this? How can this be possible? How can the law allow a certain organization to disrespect the law? Our law, our constitution does not, permit any organization, any group of people, any individual to disrespect, to disregard the rule of law. So the EC, knowing very well that what they are doing is legally okay, they have not flouted any. Did you call and you want to speak to me on air?
Just leave your message after the tone.
Okay, Marty. So what I'm saying is, the EC, right? If the EC, the Electoral Commission in Ghana, if those leaders there, the directors and the chairman and everybody, if they know or they think they are doing the right thing, they should set examples to everybody that nobody is above the law. Where from this mantra of the EC is independent, the EC is independent? So, I mean, just you, I don't understand. I want someone to exactly come and lecture me that, there's something like that. I mean, the EC, what they are doing. Look, forget about the partisan and everything. What I know, the layman on the street should know simple terms There are some laws in this country, UK here. The moment you come, those who know you, your family members or fellow Ghanaians or even Africans you get to know, they will tell you, hey, don't do, or God, don't do this here or for here, do this or this. In my day, the first thing is, if you know you don't have the correct papers, don't even try to drive. Or don't do things that will involve the police, because here in this country, it's not like the continent or France, especially, where police can call you anytime to ask you questions. Here, it's not like that. In fact, it's only because of the knife crime and a bit of crime and maybe terrorism, the police are a bit more, reactive or, proactive to, citizens' movement. And otherwise, in the 90s, you can roam and do your things quietly. Police will never call you to any. So they will tell you, don't do this, don't especially. Once I was driving, I read somewhere, I said, Jesus Christ, I have to have a wee. So I got down, hey, my auntie, no, fasha ohune endu fiansana. So I had to, add there, because my auntie told me that, look, if you do this and a policeman comes, it's not even about you trying to ease yourself, have a wee by the roadside. That's not a problem too much, even though that is what they are going to charge you with. But the moment they come and they start to ask you about who you are and the rest, it will lead to them knowing that you are illegally floating about. So that is a problem. My auntie told me this, and straight away I got a hint. I got a card. And that was it. You see, so the rules are there for people to follow. The rules are there for people to follow. Let me have a few 1 minute with Mr. Kwesi Akwa, because obviously the program or the conversation with Mr. Frimpong Boatin, Professor Frimpong Boatin, should start by now. So, Kwesi, good evening and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mansa Musa. Good evening to you and good evening to your listeners, Mansa Musa.
It's already 8 p.m. and at 8 p.m., I was thinking you might fall in earlier, but at 8 p.m., Dr. Frimpong Boatin is ready. So, maybe we can...
Oh, is he ready? If Dr. Frimpong Boatin is ready, let me know.
Yeah, he is ready. He's on, as we speak, he's on the Zoom waiting for my call.
Oh, okay, then let me listen to both. Let's listen to Dr. Frimpong Boatin then.
I'll find time for you, because I've decided that I'm going to give you the contestant chance, every other day to come and express your views.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll listen to Frimpong Boatin, Dr. Frimpong Boatin, and see if we can even come. Thank you so much, Mansa.
Thank you, too. Thank you. So, in this country, it's not like the continent or France, especially where... I've opened different radios and different... So, it's giving me feedback. Sorry about that. Anyway, it's exactly 8 p.m. So, I got to go to Accra there to invite Professor Frimpong Boatin. He is on Zoom as we speak for a tete-a-tete, that is a chat, conversation. This conversation is not too inquisitional. No. It is more conversational. So as at when you come, you are also on the Zoom and you want to speak, kindly just raise your hand electronically. I mean, don't shout or don't just open your microphone, but raise your hand and I'll let you speak. Prof, good evening and welcome to the show. Prof, can you hear me?
I'm here.
Can you hear me? Prof, can you hear me? Your microphone is not opened. It's still muted. Hello? Prof, can you hear me?
I can't hear.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. Hello, Prof. Can you hear me now?
It was coming. I think there's some contact. Hello?
I can hear you. Can you
Can
hear
you
me?
manipulate it again?
Okay, I can hear you. Let's see. Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Yeah. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Okay, hang on a second. Yeah, hang on a second. I will do the connection again.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Right. I've read your open letter to Ghanaians and to everybody. In the letter, your main point, I mean, you raise a lot of issues, and you've explained that since the overthrow of the Osajifo, may God bless his soul, there has not been any proper, there have not been any value in the governance we've had since then. Obviously, this statement is something like everybody knows, everyone agrees. The challenge of what you have written is the fact that both parties, NDC, MPP, have failed. In other people's opinion, this is too, say, pedestrian, given the volume, given the how do I say it? I mean, the quantum of what has gone wrong over the years. If we are to compare, then, people say we shouldn't compare. But if we are to compare, people will say, oh, Prof, this one there, you are wrong. You can't say both of them have failed. What do you say to that? I mean, to start with.
I didn't say NDC or MPP actually. I said we have Ghanaians, we are not done well.
Mm.
I don't want to point to any political party.
Mm.
We have not done well as a people.
Mm.
In other places, you may have some elders in the country. They may not belong to the same political party. They may not come from the same traditional area. But then they are concerned about the country, and they meet to discuss and say that, look, we will not allow our country to sink. So they come together either to advise or to admonish and do things. We don't see that kind of thing happening in Ghana.
Mm. The reason I ask this question is that I can see on a caption on the, what we call it, class online, is it classmobile.com? And it is carried by Ghana Web. It says NPP, NDC have failed to develop and prosper Ghana. Is it misleading headline? Is it a misleading headline?
Well, in a way, there's some truth in it.
Right. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Now you ask a question. I say, yes, in a way, there's some truth in it, because Ghanaians entrusted our lives and our development into their hands. And since the advent of the Fourth Republic, there has not been any significant breakthrough that will encourage young people that they have a stake in the country. As I said, speaking to some young people, university students and others, they say 90% of them will tell me that they do not see their future in Ghana. If they had the means, they could go outside. And anytime I hear that, I become worried, because they are supposed to be the leaders of tomorrow. But if they don't have any plans of staying, then we are in a mess.
You are very right indeed. We are all worried as to how majority of the youth.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Prof, can you hear me? Hello, Prof, can you hear me? Hello, Prof, can you hear me now? Hello? Hello, Prof. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, Prof. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me, sir? I can actually hear you, but I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay, hang on, let's see. Can you still hear me?
Hello? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I want to change my position. So
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Change your position, yeah. And let's see if it will.
yes, I'm going out.
Yeah, change your position. Let's see if it will help. You are listening to Mansa Musa. I am with Professor
Yeah.
Frimpong Boating. He needs not big introduction. He doesn't need too much introduction. You know him already. He was with the Inter-Ministerial Committee, something against Galamsey and everything. You know what has gone on, so I don't have to repeat his credentials. But in politics and in Ghana industrial circles, I think he's a formidable quantity to deal with. He has written an open letter, and so I've called him this afternoon to come to discuss his his letter or his opinion about how governance is being managed in Ghana. At the moment, he's having a little bit of problem with his positioning or his hearing. I don't mean by himself, but
Yes, okay.
you can hear me.
Is it better now?
Well, if you
I can hear you well.
If you can hear me, I can hear you. That's fine. Right. So now then.
I can hear you very well.
Very good. You said that the question here is, now that we are in the middle of we are getting to election year, and the parties are vying for the support, or let's say the love of the citizens. Some will say that those of you, the elite of society, should speak truth to power. And now, if somebody like Professor Frimpong Boating choose to go in the middle lane, the mainstream middle lane, and speak like others are saying, oh, both are the same, they are all the same, they are all the same, instead of speaking truth to power. If what you are saying is the truth, then what are you suggesting to Ghanaians? Who do we go for if both of them cannot be relied upon?
So,
I'm talking plenty because I want you to get ready and steady. Are you okay now? Hello, Prof. Hello, Prof. Prof, are you ready now?
yes, I think it keeps on going off. I don't know what is happening.
Yeah, obviously it's not from here. My internet feed is very, very steady. So, and I can hear you. Anytime you speak, I can hear you. You know. So
Yes.
let's try on a bit. So what I'm saying is, let's say what you are saying is the truth, that both MPP and NDC have failed. Now, what are you telling Ghanaians? What should we do then? Who should we go for?
No. Please don't get me wrong. I never stated in my letter that MPP and NDC have failed. It might have failed, but I didn't state that. I mean, let's not be too political. What I'm saying is that Ghana has not done well at all of us. But then if we think that those in the who have ruled us might take a bigger blame, well, then one can say so. But this does not limit our conversation to MPP and DC.
Right, but it should be a conversation about politics going forward, about governance, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So now, yeah, it's, let's take the partisan out and go into the governance. Still, I have to ask you, what do you think Ghanaians should look out for? We cannot go the same way, the same tangent, the same mistakes, and select people who are not good enough. So, in your view, what what do you think we are going to get from the quality or the people we have now? The Baumia, the Kenejapon, the Jakon, Mahama, what do you think Ghanaians are going to get going forward?
Well, that's what I've stated in that letter. Now, if you go through, we want people who are concerned about Ghanaians, who are not only thinking about the next elections, but they have long-term vision for Ghana. They are not going to think about themselves, their families and friends and concubines, but to have the welfare of Ghanaians at heart, especially the young ones, because things are not good, so we have to think about Ghana first, and create a country that will be good for the generations to come.
Still on governance, what do you make of what is happening currently? From the viewpoint, I don't know if you heard me from the beginning, that a whole institution is disregarding a court request or decision. What do you make of what is happening between the EC and the court?
The EC and the court, actually, I've not been following it, because I've been busy doing other things. So can you just tell me what happened?
What we know is that someone has petitioned a court, and the court has granted an injunction. So apparently, the court have sent a bailiff, who is a lawyer, to send the court's request, or the bailiff, the court's order to the EC. Apparently, the EC has got the security people to tell the bailiff that no, they are not to be allowed in to present the court's order. Not because maybe the recipient is not in the house or is not in, but they are being prevented, almost like the EC is ignoring a lawful court decision. I don't know are you saying you haven't heard of this, what is going on at all?
No, I'm not heard about that. But the thing is that if they will not take it, if that's what you are saying is accurate, and there are other means of serving them. If you refuse, the court has other means of serving them. So that I don't think that's a big problem.
Okay.
The EC will be served.
Okay. So apart from that, still on the EC, what do you make of the fact that it looks as if how they want to do this registration is not going to be convenient. It's not going to be easier. It's not going to facilitate easier access, to people who are supposed to go and register, either young people from 18 to 25, or even old people who previously didn't register. What do you make of how the EC or what they have decided to do?
You see, the thing is, I think you invited me to this conversation because we're going to talk about the letter that I wrote to the future president. The EC, what I can say is that the EC and everybody should do things in such a way that we'll have a credible registration, we have a good register, so that we have an election that everybody will believe in. This is what I can say.
That is very well noted. You said, we will talk, in detail about what you have written. That is fine. But we are talking about governance. It's very important because what you have alluded in your open letter, it all comes down to how the government or how the state is being run. So it's all part of it. Now the question is, the question is, the general attitude of public figures. I don't know. Have you heard recently, Madam, what is her name? Ajwa Safo is in town, and she's pleading for forgiveness and the rest. You know the story. You know the history. What do you make of that as well?
As I say, I mean, I don't want to dwell on these petty things. These are not things that will bring food to the table of people who are hungry.
Fair
that
enough.
will not
Fair
change
enough.
the
Fair enough.
narrative.
No, Prof, we will move on. It's not a big deal. I mean, I wanted to come in. We will get back. We'll get to the point. But let me ask you what do you make of the recent police leaks and how the whole thing is being investigated, or the Inquisition? What do you make of what has happened?
Well, these are little demons that are plaguing the nation. Let's not dwell too much on them. Let us be considerate, love each other, and do the right thing. I cannot provide answers to some of the things that you are asking me, but I feel very uncomfortable when our IGP is paraded in public and ask questions. These are not nice things. So we should be careful the way we do some of these things.
Everyone is going to say that, won't we? That we got to be very, very careful the way things are being done. But if me, Mansa Musa, I say that, look, for people to sit down quietly to plot against an officer, it is as bad as in the army those days we say is treason. It's a court-martial offense. Can I assume that what the guys did was really bad?
Well, I think the investigations are still ongoing, so I cannot conclude. As I said, there are so many things I do, and I don't follow some of these peripheral things. It's important, but not too important to me.
Okay. Now, let's come back to your open letter. What made you write this? Most of it I read, I would say, is already in the known or the public domain. They know about almost all you said already. Said somebody I spoke to yesterday said, "Oh, but Prof, surely there wasn't nothing new in what he has said. So what is he actually on about?" That's what somebody asked me. What made you write this piece?
It is good to always remind ourselves about what we know already to be wrong. So that if we know it to be wrong, why are we then not doing anything about it? So it's a reminder that let's think about these things and start providing answers, because things are deteriorating. That is the reason why I wrote them, just to remind ourselves that there's something wrong, and we should all come together, provide answers to save our nation.
You gave examples of how things were done in Singapore, then in China. Given that the politics at the time, or even current China in particular, is different from everyone else, are you suggesting that we consider a one-party state or something of that nature to be able to go forward?
Look, we've had all in Ghana. We had, PNDC, NRM, National Identity Council, GNDC. These were all military dictatorship. And so why couldn't we have done something with that dictatorship? So don't say that we need dictatorship to develop. We had powers, and very little came out of it.
Well, I'm not saying so. I'm just referring to some of the passages. You made references to how they have succeeded, by listening to their technology. I mean, industrialists, technologists. You yourself, you are an industrialist. You are a technologist. You are an engineer. We know about you. So they use their expertise. The professionals to develop their country, but the politics is very different. In fact, if we had maybe allowed Osagie for maybe 15, 18 years and later became fed of him, maybe he would have done something much, just like what we are seeing from Singapore of today. But my question is, what are you saying? Because with this adversarial, partisan nature of Western-style democracy, which many people have said is not conducive, it's not good for Africa, what are you suggesting for us?
What I'm suggesting for us to do is, wherever you are, make sure that you do the right thing. whichever political party that you belong to, that you apply these principles: love for the nation, patriotism, do away with corruption, use science and technology for national development, and then set up institutions that will allow us to create things, manufacture tools, machines that will work for us. We cannot sit down and import everything from toothpick to aircraft. It's not on. And so this is what I'm trying to say. People say it's too late. It's not too late for a nation. We can always come back to what is right and do them.
Prof, have you landed, or did you end your sentence, or your system got frozen? Hello, Prof. Hello, Prof. Professor Frimpong Boateng is having problems with his system. Hello, Prof. Can you hear me?
The line went off again,
I know. We understand these issues, so we will try and live with it. So far as you are comfortable, I hope you are not just standing outside. Are you convenient? Are you comfortable? Hello, Prof. The Prof's machine, or his connection keeps coming in and out, jumping in and out, which is a shame. But let's see if we can. Prof, are you there?
I'm comfortable. I'm outside, walking outside to get a good place. Yes, what I'm saying is I'm walking around to see a very good place where we can continue the conversation.
Yes. No.
That's why I'm walking around.
For me, I want to make sure that you are comfortable, because it's not fair. I'm seated here. And if you are in the house, maybe your sitting room would have had a proper signal, but maybe you have people there, so you don't want the noise. But whatever it is, I want you to feel comfortable, seated, so that we can, because I can see you standing and it's not fair. But at least you can hear me speaking, right? Prof's machine keeps dropping off. He's to be fair to him, he's doing his best to get.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So the question I asked if you ended your submission, because the whole thing got frozen. Did you finish, or you want to continue on the line you were on?
Well, I don't know where I left off, but so you can ask another question.
Okay, that's fine. So the problem we are facing now is that the problem we are facing, you know very well that corruption, mismanagement, incompetence, all these things, and it's not only with only the current government. We can say for a long time, when you mention incompetence, you mention corruption, and sometimes this incompetence and corruption can merge, because some people, within the government circles or in public office are simply round pegs in round holes. Instead of them to be, classified as incompetent, we say they are corrupt, and vice versa. Then we have mismanagement, waste, the pure misrule everything. You see, when I keep on talking like this, you guys should know that I'm losing Prof. Unfortunately, me and Prof, Prof is a hard, as they say, hard copper. He wants to continue, but the line isn't helping, and he keeps coming in and out. Let's see if we can have him. But then, okay, thank you. Prof, are you still there? Hello, Prof.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. You keep freezing in and out. But if you are somewhere, you can hear me now, I can think.
Yes, but it's not my fault.
No, it isn't. I'm not blaming you. No.
Now I can hear you.
I'm not blaming you one bit. I know the system. This thing, when he says it's worrying you,
No.
it's how against that. Anyway, if you can hear me now, let me ask you that the problem we have, one, corruption, incompetence, what else? Corruption, incompetence, and mismanagement, all combined, all these vices. How do we go about trying to manage these sort of setbacks that does not help in the development of our country? What do you think? You were previously, you were in the government. You saw some success and you saw some big failures. How do you suggest or advise any future government or president as to how to tackle these vices? Corruption, incompetence, wrong people in the wrong holes. Please go ahead.
I think the thing is, yeah, so you've more or less answered the question. If somebody is incompetent, take him off and bring someone competent. If somebody is corrupt, apply sanctions. So there are laws. So let the laws work. If you allow the laws to work, and then think about Ghana, think about the best, so that you don't employ your favorites, your friends to certain positions. When they are there and you do the wrong things, you are not able to sanction them. So if you are able to open the gate so that everybody who qualifies applies and gets to the position, and you are not emotionally connected to that person, they'll be able to deal with infractions that are committed. So what I'm trying to say is that let appointments, let positions be fairly competed so that if somebody does something wrong, you can apply the sanctions. Let the doors work. That is it.
So, in short, all these positions must be given or taken on merit. I mean, people who are qualified.
On merit, yes.
We all know you as a medical doctor, a surgeon, a heart surgeon of a very high, reputation. Would you say that your previous involvement in government, dealing with something maybe outside of your proper profession, so to speak, would you say that was a mistake?
No, it wasn't a mistake. I mean, wherever you are, you apply principles to work. Hard working, be conscientious, love your nation, love your fellow man, don't be corrupt. And then, these are all principles that apply everywhere, in medicine, in politics, in journalism, everywhere. So these are universal principles that you apply, then you'll be successful.
Did you apply fully this, universal principle as you are saying?
For myself, yes, I did. That's what I do. I've done all my life. Yes.
In that case, we all know in the end that particular arrangement or that particular process or that particular program failed. We all know. What do you or would you attribute that failure to? Because we are finding answers for future governance. So we need to delve a bit into, what we know about you. Why do you think that your program, the anti-Galamsey thing, failed?
Because those who were supposed to, some people who were supposed to help in stopping it were also involved. And so that is as simple as
that. You mean, to put it in a layman's language, you are being sabotaged from within. Is that what you are telling us?
Exactly. And it's still going on.
That being the case, you see, what some Ghanaians accuse you of, maybe they are wrong, maybe we are right, maybe wrong or right, is that That being the case, knowing that you were being sabotaged, you, Professor Frimpong Boateng, didn't come out strong enough, plain enough, you didn't come out with a language which shows that, hey, I'm trying to do my best, but you guys or this and that are spoiling everything. So Ghanaians, when it fails, which I'm sure is going to fail, don't think we are all involved. But for some reason, some people are not playing ball. Prof, people say you didn't come forward with your language strong enough. What do you say to that?
That is not entirely true, if you don't know. I mean, for example, I made presentation on many times to cabinet. I met the Council of State on 2 occasions. I met chiefs, I met people, and presented my view of things. So I might not have come to the open space to say it, but those who mattered were informed. And that was what I was supposed to do. I mean, look, in Ghana, you can come out and say something, people talk and shout, the next day they all forget it and they go and do their things. So you have to address the people who are supposed to receive the message. And I did that many times.
Is there a case, would you do anything different?
After all, since the report was leaked,
go ahead.
And it has been discussed many times, what are people doing?
Prof, let me ask you, given the chance, Prof's Ahumano to talk, a shame, but hopefully, I don't know how, maybe we have to go to WhatsApp or something. Prof, I can see you are still there. Will you reappear? Okay, you are listening to Mansa Musa, and I'm having a proper interview. Both formal and informal with Professor Frimpong Boateng. His machine, his system keeps coming in and out. He's doing his best to stay with us, and we are grateful.
So I can hear you. I can hear you again.
My question was that. Okay, thank you. My question was that things that happened and you said you complained. For instance, someone. Oh, please mute your microphone if you have just come in. Prof, someone said that when this matters arose first and they were talking about excavation and this and that, you came out as though things were not that bad. So if you are now complaining so much, people are still attributing some of the fault to yourself. Do you take any responsibility for what happened?
No. Listen to me. Look, people can be very treacherous in Ghana. At the same time, somebody reported me to SHRAG that I was doing something wrong. And so for 4 years, from 2019 to March 2023, I was being investigated. So if you are being investigated, you cannot come out and say anything about the things that are being investigated. That's why I was quiet, until the SHRAG came out with this report that I had done nothing wrong. And then I could speak on that matter. So people should understand that. It's not as easy as that. You cannot just get up and be saying things when you yourself are under investigations. Yes.
Are you out of that so-called investigation? Are you now being cleared? And yeah.
Oh, yeah. The report came, I've been cleared. And I mean, people knew that, because they just do that for you to keep quiet. And they do what they like. That is it.
Okay. I can see that your listener has frozen again. Forgive me, you those.
No.
I can. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
I can hear you.
Go ahead.
I think I've answered the questions. So.
Okay. Right. So obviously, the answer because it froze. I didn't hear properly. I'm saying all those investigations and everything. you personally have been cleared now, right?
Yes, sure.
Okay. I will give the chance, since we have problem in and out, you come in and out, to any of the our listeners on Zoom to ask you a question. So, Mr. Dr. Amensha, Dr. Ambrose Amrisha, if you have any question for Prof, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Mansa Musa, and good evening to Prof. Frimpo Boatin. I have only one question, and just good evening, Doc. Prof.
Good evening.
My question is, based on your experience from your interaction and activities of the in controlling our lands with respect to Galamsey and other issues, what I'm asking is, what can we do as a nation to be able to save our lands? Because I have passion for land. I'm a land economist, and when I hear and see the destruction that is being caused, I become dejected. What can we do to save our land from now, based on your experience?
See, the thing is, there are laws in Ghana, and there are authorities that are supposed to safeguard our natural resources. So if for example, the EPA, the Minerals Commission, or the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources would do its work well, then all the problems will be solved. But that's not what is happening, So you may have people, say, from the Forest Commission who are supposed to protect the forest, but they'll be the same people who will be abusing the forest. That is the thing, People are appointed to some positions in Ghana because of their connections to bigger people. And so when they are there and they are doing the wrong things, nobody says anything, because apparently they are also there to make money. That's the point.
All right. Thank you for the answer provided. I'm satisfied. And all what I would say is that as a country, we need to ensure that at least we try or make our attempt to implement our laws. And once we're able to do that, from based on what you stated, yes, you will be able to curb this menace. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Amanshia. Like he said, it's land and something economy. I mean, people have the grades and degrees a lot here and everywhere, and he's one of them. Brilliant, brilliant fellow. Anyway, if any one of you want to ask Prof a question to you, can raise your electronic account. Prof, let me ask you about what Dr. Amanshia have just talked about, how to stop the degradation of our lands, environment, and water body, the rest of it. The suggestion, a layman's suggestion, saying that the alluvial mining and surface and whatever alluvial, whatever they call it, should be should put a moratorium, maybe 5-10 years, and leave only deep shaft. What do you think of this suggestion?
You see, the point is, there are hundreds of thousands of people engaged in small-scale mining. Now, if you are going to stop it, we must find a way for them to also earn their money, their living. Otherwise, there'll be trouble in the country. So it's not a question of stopping it and allowing foreign companies to earn their money. Ghanaians too must be heard. That is why I'm talking about, industrialization, wealth creation, training people to use science and technology to manufacture things and do things. So if we are able to do most of these things, then we'll get employment for our people, and then we can stop other things that are harmful to the environment.
So you are not in favor, or you think, for the economic reasons, even this alluvia especially, which destroys vast areas of our fertile forests and the rest, it should continue. I mean, yes, the question, should it continue?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if the alluvial mining is done well, you will not see the damage that you see. but people flout all the mining regulations because the inspectorate division of the Minerals Commission is not up to its task. So, but if the alluvia is done well, you mine, you cover up, you vegetate before you move to the next place. If it's done well, you will not even see any. There are people in Ghana who do it well, and when you go to their site, you don't see this degradation. There are people, but there are people who flout the regulations. You know, is the not adherence to our laws that is creating all this problem that we have now.
There is a gentleman on the phone also to ask a question. Hello, good evening, Kwesi.
Yeah, good evening, Mansa Musa. Based on the 3 rounds. Doc, good evening, Doc. Can you hear me, Prof? Something went sideways today because they dropped 2 bodies.
You didn't get them yet?
Yeah. Prof, good evening. My name is Kwesi. Can you hear me, Prof?
Melody Wilmot, 32.
Prof, can you hear the telephone conversation?
No.
Okay, that is the problem with telephone and Zoom. It's very inappropriate. Kwesi, speak loud.
Let me see if I can come into Zoom and maybe it will be better.
Yeah, go on Zoom, so that it will be easier for everybody. Thank you. Right, Prof, let's carry on. Before the caller, Kwesi has agreed to come on Zoom as well. So let's carry on with my line of questioning. And that is, given that what some people did to, what do we call it? To actually, to thwart the effort of your organization. I mean, interministerial, that long thing. Sometimes I forget the full acronym anyway. But given that people did illegalities, I mean, people undermined that effort. We cannot just say, business as usual. My question to you, do you think some people will have to be prosecuted?
The thing is still ongoing. The thing hasn't stopped. It's worse now than before.
Yeah, Prof, my question is, do you think some people should be prosecuted?
Sure. I mean, you see, that's what I'm saying, that there are laws. If we fraud the mining laws, there are sanctions. So let the laws work and let the sanctions be applied, and some of these things will stop. But those who are supposed to apply the sanctions sometimes are involved in it. So what happens?
I see. So those who are supposed to, carry the oversight or, people who are to manage discipline in that field, you are saying some of them, they themselves, they are involved. Is that what you are saying?
Yes.
That is one of the shortest answers, and I like it. Is it Edwin or something? Let me see the name. I can't see very well. Yeah, Edwin, your hand has been up for a while. Your question to Professor Frimpong Boateng.
Uncle Professor, thank you very much for attending this meeting today. And I have a very short question. And to me, it seems that our whole setup in the whole setup in the country is problematic for 2 reasons. If indeed the people who are supposed to control the laws are the one abusing the law, then again, what is the point of having the laws in the first place? Because they have their own intention and their own understanding. If you look at what is happening in the United States today, you can see for the last recent years, and even in the past, the president of the United States, Biden, is about to be impeached, and they're thinking about impeaching. His son is now, federal crime against him. Yet in Ghana, people can walk with impunity. Trump was jailed for rape. And in Ghana, such accusations by people just go blah, 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 and get away with it. What is wrong with our structure and system that allows impunity right across board? Because unless we fix that, I don't see any hope for any of us.
If you had ended with a thank you, then we would have known
your
that
answer
you
may be as good as mine.
landed.
I cannot give you.
Sorry.
All right, Prof.
Yes. What I'm saying is that his answer or your answer to that question will be as good as mine. That is why we are where we are, because we don't tend to do the right things,
It's like
brother,
it's like asking the cabbage thief to look after the cabbages in the garden for you. I mean, it just
yes.
It's like it's an endless task unless we structure the Constitution in a manner where the president himself, even in office, can be impeached, just like Trump was, just like Biden's son is happening, just like it happened to anybody. If you interfere in elections or cause election malpractice, you should be prosecuted. Everybody, right down from top to bottom, must adhere to the law. And you only do that when there's a check and balances in the system to enable that action to be taken. We don't have a constitution that is enabler for that factor.
Prof, briefly.
Yeah, but in Ghana, we flout the election laws from the very beginning. We are bribing people to vote for people, and pure displaying money, bribing people, and doing all these wrong things from the very beginning. And then people seem to not to care.
Question.
Again,
Oh, okay. Edwin, quickly, Edwin.
Quick one. Yeah, Prof, you've answered the question. One, if I may say something. One, we need a psychological change in our imbalance in our system because we seem to tolerate it when it suits us. And therefore, when it doesn't suit us, we complain. Now, we have to take a very fundamental point where we say, this is right and this is wrong. We have to have that balance. Without that, UK will not be what it is. America will not be what it is. Europe will not be what it is. They are not special people. They are not great people. They just have certain systems in place. And I've worked with some of the most advanced people. They have the certain systems in place which make sure it works. Even if you are his son and you're in his company, he makes sure you work for your position. You earn your respect.
All right. I think we've given you enough of the crack.
Thank you.
Let's Kwesi.
Okay.
Yeah, Mansa Musa. Good evening. Good evening to Prof.
Why are you horizontal? I mean,
okay.
This world is still something.
Okay, now I'm back to normal.
Now you're back to normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mansa Musa, for the opportunity. Prof, good evening. My name is Kwesi. You see, the gentleman who spoke, Edwin, has taken my question out, but I will add something to it. Prof, Ghana today,
NFM Radio,
the country is going through pain. Why? Because we've allowed the politicians to dictate the pace in Ghana. Meanwhile, Prof, we have the academia. They are all quiet, Prof. Ghana today, as we speak, the police systems, the courts systems are not working. Why have you allowed the politicians to capture the state and turn the whole nation upside down? Why, Prof?
Well, can you provide an answer? I mean,
well, Prof, I think he's saying that, you, the elites, the intellectuals, the intelligentsia in a country, in a society, you should be strong enough. You should be, powerful enough to let politicians know when they are going wrong. And his question is, why have you allowed the politicians to get a free for all, just do whatever they want? You, the intelligentsia, that's the question.
Because, look, people... The thing is that people, the so-called intelligentsia, are doing their work. They don't like insults. They don't want to be disturbed. But, when you say something, they expect what they say to be taken seriously. But if they're not taken seriously and they stand the risk of being abused, insulted, and so on, then they keep quiet because that's not how they work.
Yeah, Prof. Let me add my final question. Then I'll leave for the elders to come. Prof. Currently, the way our court system, our court structure is, are you happy with the system as it is now? Because, like JDM said, John Dramani Mama said that, look, the court system as he sees it, as a former president, is not balanced enough. Is the court system balanced enough, Prof?
See, I wouldn't know. I mean, people say there are NPP judges, NPP lawyers, NDC this, NDC that. I think it's just unfortunate. I mean, that we should be saying this. Professionals, as you are saying, should do their work without any political bias. You may lean towards a political party, but when it comes to your work, it should be work for the people and work for the nation.
Anyway, thank you.
Right. Prof, there's someone or a message on Facebook. Obviously, I need to read it. But, to sum it up, the fellow is saying that the professor is still afraid, he's scared, he's frightened, and doesn't seem comfortable with my line of questioning. My question to you is that, are you still treading carefully? Are you looking over your shoulder? Are you afraid of something?
If you read the letter that I wrote to the official president, would you say that the author of that thing is an afraid man, if I put it that way? No, I'm not afraid, but you cannot go about insulting people or using certain language. I will not do that. I will say what I want to say in a way that people understand, but not go about insulting people and thinking by doing that you are a brave person. That is foolishness. But what I have to say, I'll say it clearly that those to whom it is intended for will know that they have to listen to it and take it seriously.
In that vein, I still come back to my initial line of questioning that as an intellectual, someone like you in America, in Singapore, where you use as an example, they are revered. You speak and people listen. So my question was that, the way somebody like Adwoa Safo has behaved, I mean, you must be brave and strong enough to say that, hey, either she should be given a second chance or he shouldn't. And that she's wrong for the system, she has not performed, or she's okay. You must be able to say these things, isn't it?
No, I've said it before. I mean, look, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge, I'm not in the prosecuting agencies. But that's what I'm saying, there are laws in parliament and elsewhere. If somebody has done something wrong and deserves to be sanctioned, then that person should be sanctioned. But if he has not done anything wrong, then he goes scot-free. So it's not up to me to be saying these things. Let Parliament, let the laws work.
Prof, with all due respect, Mansa Musa can shout from the rooftop till tomorrow. But you are Professor Frimpong Boateng. It's down to you, such people, to insist on the right things being done. So it's down to you to say that, look, this is wrong, this is right. If you are also going to behave like me, it's not up to me, then we don't have a strong society, where the capacity within the intellectuals are revered everywhere. I'm still, Doc, the head that wears, the head that wears a crown, as they say. So you are Professor Frimpong Boateng. I'm asking you, do you think what's her name, Adwoa Safo, should be given a chance, or you think she has failed completely, she has misplaced the trust, so you should go for someone else to come and take over?
I don't know. In fact, I've not even listened to, I've not heard her. I've not, it has not interested me to listen to some of these things.
Fair enough, Prof. I don't doubt your integrity. Mr. Nana, sorry. I will call. I know your hand is still up, but I will call you when Nana Osebonsu. Do you want to ask something? Nana Osebonsu, if you can hear me. Okay, Nana Osebonsu is not. Abe, do you want to say something?
Mansa Musa, I just came on. I haven't heard
Okay,
the
then
prof
stay there
speak.
for a while whilst we talk. Then when you are okay, you come in. Prince Kafui, do you want to say something? Hello, Prince Kafui. Okay, so Edwin, you want to say something?
I honestly feel from what Professor said and from what we know and what you've been saying, we know there's a structural deficit, there's a structural problem in the whole system. We should be saying to ourselves, first and foremost, how do we fix the structure? For me, and I say this again, I've said it plainly, unless the structure is fixed, we are just wasting our time. We can talk for 100 years. Whoever gets in there and sees he has an interest in the system and the system can serve his interest, they will facilitate it. Even in America, we saw what Donald was trying to do. And the system says no. I'm not saying Donald was wrong or anything. I'm not saying I'm against him. The system has said to him, we don't want you to take this thing where it's going. And the system has check and balances. We haven't got a system, a check and balances in the whole structure of the Ghanaian system. No serious political party who wants to take the country forward can sit down and say, we're not going to do something. There's no point holding individuals account when you don't hold those people who want to be sitting in position of authority, asking them, ask the politicians, don't you think you have enough power? And why are you abusing your power? And when are you going to put the check and balances in place? Because only you in parliament can do it.
Okay. So this is rhetorical. This is rhetorical. We accept it.
It's not rhetorical.
Is there a question?
It's not rhetorical. It's a question. Oh. We need to say to ourselves.
Then be clear with the question, because you are giving the instance and you are giving the explanation.
The question is very clear. The question to me, the question to you is very clear. Shouldn't we be asking ourselves, how do we structure the system to function properly?
Okay, all right.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, and he's right. I mean, we have to. There's a systemic failure, which must be addressed. And in the case that you asked about, there are laws in Parliament. If people absent themselves, there are laws, and I don't know the details of these things. But let those laws work, and if there are sanctions to be meted out, let it be so. It's as simple as that, or it should be as simple as that.
Right, Prof. Let me come back down to you and your profession. And, when it comes to such forums or fora, you don't always expect to have easy or comfortable sort of interaction. So sometimes the unpalatable questions comes in as well. And that is, you are a proper surgeon, a medical person, engineer as well. Why do you think you were not made, let's say, the health minister, or let's say minister for special, construction or engineering, something? Instead, it's like the same round pegs in the square hole syndrome. Why make somebody like the current minister for health, who everyone sees that, in fact, he is out of his depth, he's not performing? And yet we have somebody like Professor Frimpong. He's been sent to go and, supervise the fight over Galamsey. It didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. What do you think of this?
So what you are saying is not exactly right. I was the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation. And I was made chairman of the fight against Galamsey. That was not my primary job. My job was a Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation. And I did my work very well in that area. Did so many things, brought in innovations, started projects that have the potential of changing this nation. So the Galamsey was something by the side, which I did with 10 other ministers.
But Prof, you see, you will be remembered, all Ghanaians, you mention your name, it's all about that anti-Galamsey thing. My question is, why do you think you were not given a top job in health, which you would have excelled, I believe? Why?
No, I'd like to work in science, technology, and innovation. That is something that I like to do. there are a lot of doctors around who could do the health thing.
Doc,
but
Prof,
I was very interested in.
Are you both lecturing now and still practicing your health profession?
Yes, I'm still practicing operating and teaching.
Right. Okay. And so you are in the government circles or you are private? Are you working in Range or 37 or?
No, not in the government sector, private.
I see. Right. So now coming back to the general politics again. Wow, going forward, I mean, into 2024, what is happening in West Africa? You and I know very well that everyone will say, oh, even a bad democracy is better than a dictatorship or military coup or whatever. No one has actually explained to Mansa Musa what a bad democracy means. But if we are to accept that our EC misbehaving sometimes unconstitutionally, and the CJ, the Chief Justice, also, taking the whole office away with her. And so when she's gone, things cannot happen as it happened recently. Given all these, do you think the democracy as we see it should still be upheld? I mean, we should still be protected.
Sure, I mean, it must be done well, but you see, let me confess. I have so many things doing that I don't follow some of the stories that you are talking about. For example, the CGA taking her office somewhere, I don't know anything about that. Or I've not been following the EC. These are not things they are very, very important. But I don't want to occupy my life and my time with those things. Mm. So I will not be able to give you a satisfactory answer. I do the things that I'm interested in.
You see, Mansa Musa, for me, I'm a straight talker. I find it very difficult. I don't doubt your integrity whatsoever. But for a professor in your state, in your capacity, you sit in a country and all of a sudden there's a standstill. There's something happening and you're going to ask one of your subordinates, hey, what's going on? Prof, I think that will be unfortunate, wouldn't it?
No, you see, the thing is, I'm not a specialist for everything. I do the things that are important to me, and I comment on things that are important to me. Others can do those things. I'm not like people who appear to know everything and they comment on everything that happens in the country and talk all the time. I have seen, we are doing things.
Sorry, Prince. Prince Kafui. Okay, Abe, you want to ask something? Go on, Abe. Hello, Abe.
Mansa Musa, yes, I want to ask Prof a question, or maybe a little contribution. Professor Frimpong Boateng.
Abe, hang on a second. Kafui, Prince Kafui, mute your microphone, or we take you off. Prince Kafui, please mute your microphone. Abe, let's go.
Okay. Yeah, so Prof, I've got, I think, 2 or 3 questions to ask you. It is unfortunate you have to go through the cycle you went through. Some of us felt very disappointed that somebody of your caliber should be traduced in such a way. In the first place, have you received any response from the president to the report you wrote? Because you did a very good thing. One of the control measures or control mechanisms for addressing issues is communication through reporting and so on. We expected the president to have acted on your reports because you were at the helm of affairs. Have you received any such response as at today?
No.
2. Do you ever regret going into Ghanaian politics? because your name, your image has been introduced this way. Some of us, personally, I feel, somebody like yourself, some of us heard of Professor Alote and so on. You were supposed to create the foundation for scientific development in Ghana, West Africa, and in Africa. Unfortunately, this is where you've been reduced to or somewhere. Do you have any plans to maybe team up with any African countries, either across the West African region and so on, or African, and maybe establish maybe scientific organizations and something, and look for funding to develop the field you are in, to help all of us? Because I think, I'm sorry to say it, politics has not helped you based on the experience you've had. And
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we as Africans will stand to benefit more from your exposure, your knowledge. I went to Austria, they speak German. Even mastering the language alone to study is a big thing.
Oh, okay.
And for the fact that you were able to do it to extraordinary level, it's not. And we expect to benefit more from you. So, do you have any plans in the absence of not being politics not being helpful in your case?
I've done many things all the time. I didn't just go in. Whilst I was doing politics, I was doing things. I mean, we have 2 hospitals, private hospitals, where we do heart surgery, we do many things. We are setting up a school, we are teaching people. But you see, let me go back. Someone was saying that, you academicians, you don't go into politics, you go there and change things. And when you go there too, you say, why are you there? You're not supposed to be there because they will insult you. So what do? There's a risk. There's a risk in doing anything. You can't just sit down and say you are not going to say anything, because otherwise people are going to take the decisions that will affect you. So we try and say what we want to say, but as I said, eventually, truth stands.
Prof, truth stands, but as you know, or we all know, we don't have time. We don't have unlimited time on this earth. Of course, you've created your name, your image, and so on. But Africa needs people like you more than, one president will mess you up and so on. In the developed world, people like your caliber set up maybe biological companies, pharmaceutical companies, or science-based companies, and companies like AstraZeneca and all these things were established by scientists like yourself. And they've gained world reputation. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand you, but I don't want to tell you or speak on this forum what I'm doing outside politics. I don't want to say it, but I can assure you that I'm doing a lot for humanity, especially for this country. Still doing a lot.
Wow. Okay, some of us, we wish you the best, but we are not happy that somebody like you was, you have known entities just trying to mess you up. Do you understand? Some of us felt so bad because we know what it means to be a professional. You have to go through a lot of training, and your life, your profession is not a simple one or extraordinary one that you see small boys as a result of politics trying to introduce your name or try to mess you up. Because we saw what you did at Kolebu, and we thought it could have been expanded. It could have been, because we are short of people like your caliber. So if you are doing something, please, some of us, we are happy to help if it is possible. But unfortunately, as you said, in Ghana, if you are not...
Abe, you've got your shot there. But Prof, if what Abe is saying, I want to add my 2 pennies to it, and that is, it is very true that to have people like Wuntumi and maybe Gabi Ochidako overriding your principles or thinking ahead or for you, Kwawuzi and the rest, really, you didn't have to put yourself through all this. So to cleanse, Abe is asking, are you looking forward to, moving on for somewhere that you'll be revered, respected, regarded in that high esteem, or you are feeling sorry for yourself hiding in Ghana and hoping that one day somebody will do you a favor?
No. I'm here in Ghana doing a lot of things, with here in Ghana and with colleagues in Europe, Germany especially, doing many, many things. But I don't want to go into those things now. But that's not the forum for that. But
anyone
I can show
with a hands up who wants to say something, please do.
So, Mansa Musa, I'm getting hungry, so...
I know. You have been standing on your feet, and it shouldn't be the right thing.
Mansa Musa, let me ask him something.
Okay, quickly then. Quickly, yeah.
Yeah, Prof. I'm one of those people who spoke to you in, I think, 2009 or 10, when you wanted to contest for the MPP leadership. We are some of the people who actually believed in you because of what you're doing. But let me move forward, because personally, I don't think after hindsight, you should have even gotten into Ghana's murky politics at all. But let me ask you, what were your goals when you took the government appointment? And what are your failures in government, and what do you think you could have done differently?
No. Actually, I enjoyed being a Minister for Environment, Science, Technology, and Innovation. With organizations like EPA, CSIR, with 13 institutes, Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, and all the big things being done in atomic energy. So we did a lot, and so many things that we did. For example, you know about this communication satellite that was installed by a champion. It was communication satellite which we converted into radio telescope, so that the scientists in atomic energy or in Legon could also study the universe. Look at planets, look at the galaxies far away, and look and see the birth and death of stars and so on. And then, so that is one thing that we did, the conversion of that the communication antenna into a radio astronomy telescope. And then we saw the Earth observation satellite that allows us to look at the Ghana, the whole of Ghana, including the seaboard and things like that. So you see everything that is going on in Ghana. We're trying to set up a machine tool center and a foundry so that we're able to manufacture things, machines, spare parts, medical instruments, and so on. These are things that I started. And so many things. I mean, waste to energy plants. One of the first one was completed, and the idea was to replicate it in all the regions. So as I said, time will not permit me to go into all these things. These were my core duties, and not the Galamsey one was just something that I chaired. I chaired the committee. There were 10 of us, so we did a lot in government.
Yeah,
Prof, you haven't answered my question.
Go ahead.
What was the question?
My question was, what do you recall as your failures, and what you could have done differently? You listed things that you were doing, but as a government appointee, looking back, hindsight, what do you think were your failures and what you could have done differently? Because I think we have a lot more problems to solve in Ghana than what we have achieved.
You are right, but I'm not the one to solve all the problems. I don't see any big failure that I had in ministry. I cannot point to anything, or if you know it, you can draw my attention to it. But
so was the interministerial committee you chaired, was it a success?
Yes, in many ways it was a success. It was a success, but for example,
let me ask you quickly. You said it was a success. So you knew that there were people in government doing galamsey. Why didn't you actually name and shame them?
No, you don't do it that way. You send a report to cabinet, and I did that on 4 or 5 different occasions. I met the Council of State on 2 occasions and made a PowerPoint presentation. When there was on 2 cabinet retreats outside Accra, I made similar presentation with pictures and everything. So what I'm saying is that you were all known, and that was my duty, not to. You have to report to the one who appointed you, not to the public.
Okay, so, Prof, I think you're a very nice person. That's why I'm saying that maybe hindsight, with all due respect, shouldn't have gotten into Ghana's murky politics. Because the way some of us see it as a failure is that knowing that everything you're telling us, you actually reported some of these people to the one who appointed you to Council of State. If they weren't doing anything, why didn't you retire? Why didn't you resign and name them in public?
No.
For the Ghanaians to know, because at the end of the day, Prof, someone appointed you, but you are serving the Ghanaian people. The person who appointed you, he's been given the power in trust to the Ghanaian people. So the person is serving the Ghanaian people. So ultimately, you are serving the Ghanaian people. So if the person is not doing anything that's affecting the Ghanaian people, you owe it a duty to tell the Ghanaian people what is going on that they are not telling them. And that is why I personally think you're too nice a person to have gotten into Ghana politics. And that is where some of us see as a failure. Not because you are a failure, but from the position of authority you had. And the things that went on that you said you reported and they didn't do anything about it.
We are going around in circles. Mr. Godfather, that summation has actually, you summed it up, it has answered that he shouldn't have, but hindsight is always, they say 2020. Prof, before you, I'll give you time to respond to all this and you go back. Let me say this, that look, I have known Prof officially, formally, but privately. Look, a friend, a colleague that I studied with in the Soviet Union, Russia, a top guy who is now working for British Aerospace as one of their top engineers. He actually did team up with Prof some time ago. So when this fellow Michael came back to UK again, I said, why? He said, look, the Prof, that was even, I think that was Kufuor's time. He said, look, the Prof has got big ideas. He's got, the know-how, the technology and the scientific know-how. But the country, that's what Michael told me, the country wouldn't allow him. And that was a long while ago. So Professor Frimpong Boateng's credibility when it comes to engineering, science, and the rest cannot be in doubt at all. But, Prof, can you hear me, or you have frozen yourself out again?
Hello.
Prof, before you go, and I will allow you to answer all those questions, and let me ask you this. Mr. Godfather said something about you going into politics. My only beef, I mean, we are using the street talk here. My problem with your choice of politics is that I know you, that you are an Nkrumah boy. How do you find yourself so comfortable to be in the midst of UP? As some of us, we have sworn that for everyone whose ancestors tormented Nkrumah, we cannot play ball with them. Why are you so comfortable with them?
Oh, Mansa Musa, please spare me. Well, I mean, I can answer this question, but it will take years. So the point is that I serve Ghana. And there's a reason why, there's a historical reason why I'm in the MPP. My grandfather, was a very, committed member of the UP tradition. And so he brought us into this tradition. But at the same time, I was a young pioneer, and I like Nkrumah's development industrialization policy. So it's not a question of hating this, although traditionally I was in the UP thing, I like Nkrumah, the way he set out to, modernize Ghana, industrialize Ghana, and I've studied very, very well and carefully. And I think that if we want to develop this nation and ignore what Nkrumah did, we will not succeed. And that is part of our problem in this country. When Nkrumah went away, people just wanted to forget him and everything that he did. That has brought us to where we are now.
Prof, a quick one before you go.
One more question.
Quick. Who is that?
Okay,
listen. To be fair to the prof, look, he is actually standing in the garden. It's not easy. So, Edwin, a simple, quick question. Then Abby, you two, a simple, quick question. Then we let him go.
Just one quick observation. One, the prof has talked very well. And prof, one quick question. If I come to Ghana, is it possible to come and maybe see you? Because in the past, I've seen one or two more the people who are doing great things, and I would like to come and maybe meet up with you and maybe have a good conversation, if possible. That's if possible. That's one, Prof. If possible, I can get your contact from Mr. Mansa Musa
on my
way to Ghana. Yeah. And second principle is that I always say this: Ghanaians, we are looking for heroes. So we set up a structure which is corrupt, compromised, which is a constitution. We expect individuals to risk their life to protect something that by its nature is corrupt. We should look at the system that is corrupt and deal with it.
Sure.
Simple. Exactly. So,
all right. Prof, Pacho, what do you trying to Abe, quickly. Abe, quickly, please.
Prof, it's interesting to know your area of interest. I know in the UK and the US, they have a permanent advisory body advising the president on directions of scientific and technological development. Do you have such a structure in our governance system? Have you people set up such a thing? And that body should be independent, not only for MPP government or NDC government, but a body, advisory body to advise the government or the president about how we can catch up scientifically. Two, do you think this particular government has failed miserably? I'm done.
Okay, so constitutionally, there are two organizations that advise the president on science and technology. The first one is CSIR, that is the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. And then the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences. But when I was minister, I suggested to the president that we needed a small body of Ghanaians at home and abroad to advise him. So we formed the PACSI, that is the Presidential Advisory Council on Science, Technology and Innovation. Professor Yonsu, who just passed away, was the chairperson. We had two important people, Ghanaians in America, I don't want to mention their names because of where they are, who were members of this council. And a few prominent, I think about 12 or so of them. But unfortunately, the council did not function properly. I left the place. So these things are there, but whether the politicians will take advantage of them, that's the point. Radio. There are good ideas, there are good people at home and abroad, but you say something, and then somebody who is close to power will say whatever they like, and then nothing works in this country.
Prof,
right,
are you scientifically or let's say physically wedded to the UP tradition, or if NDC should win power and they they call you to come help in, say, will you take that opportunity? Will you accept an offer of invitation from the NDC?
Look, I work for Ghana, and when I carried to the center, Lawrence was in power, GNDC, NDC, and I did my work well for the country, and President Lawrence was very helpful. A lot of people were helpful. Then President Kufuor came, and so I am working for Ghana. I may not take any political appointment, but if there's a project that will make Ghana a better place for the young people who are coming, I will do it no matter which party is in power.
The state of our health, I mean the health sector, do you think you can do a better job, you personally?
No, I don't want to go there at all because I know
sir,
so much there.
I want you to go there, my friend. I want you, please.
No,
because
no,
look,
no,
you
I'm
have
not
the expertise to restructure, and I'm asking you of the health sector. You don't have to fear anybody. You are not campaigning for anybody's job. I'm asking you as a Ghanaian, can you do anything better for the health service?
Mansa Musa.
Our advice, but I'm not going to sit there as minister. No, it will not happen.
Okay.
Mansa Musa,
yes.
Our health ministry, the problem with our health ministry is more managerial than scientific, based on what Prof is telling you.
Fair enough.
You understand?
All right.
The management aspect is
you will
a problem.
have to go. You will have to go. That's why I don't, not that I want to cut you off, but look, the time given to us has elapsed, and like I said, he is standing because of the connection, strength. So he has done well. We have to at least be grateful.
He's done well.
Yeah.
It's nice interacting with him.
Sure. Prof. From Pop Watson, thank you very much. Anytime you come to London, let's know so we can drag you to the studio, even to the TV studio, and have a proper sit down with you. Thank you very much for your time. Conveniently.
Thank you very much. You can give my number to Mr. Abe.
Yes, I will.
Okay, that would be nice.
Edwin.
That would be nice. Mansa Musa, give it to me. Yes, I would like to see him.
It was Edwin who asked.
Oh, come on.
I'll give you. It's okay. No fight. Right.
I don't let me come and attack you at your studio.
All right.
Mr. Abe, you are taking my thunder off my thunder.
You see, you people are using my platform. You people are using my platform to get your connections through. And that I'm going to charge you. All right, listen.
Mansa Musa, helping Ghana. We want Ghana to work more than they are doing now.
Yeah, you want Ghana to make you work. I hear you. Listen, Prof is gone. Let me take a short break, less than 30 seconds. Yeah. Then the rest of us here, let's discuss among ourselves what we think we can do. I mean, for now, I will say anything goes, anything, so that we can talk about anything and everything, if you know what I mean. So please don't go away. Stay and let's talk. It's not only big people talk, you want to listen.
Sydney Discotheque, verano del 79, con la mejor música del mundo.
Oye.
That is fire, and thanks for that short musical interlude. I had some water to drink. That's beautiful. You are listening to Mansa Musa. We had an interview with Professor Frimpong Boateng, who needs not many introductions at all. We all know who he is, what he is. Some of his activities admirable, we think, and some too less admirable. I mean, somebody will say, why did this man decide to join the what do we call it, the rank, the political rank? But that is an answer for another time. We'll ask. So all of you on the Zoom, if you want to say something, you can unmute your listener. I'll let you in. Amache.
Yes.
Yeah, the Dr. Frimpong Manson by, but what missing?
Oh,
Inter-Ministerial Committee against Galamsey, Papano. Almost 1 hour. Wabeka Saoko. Now then, I won't hear Sanka Wootia and Cowbe who say ye didn't come up, but Wabeka Sa Wakasa Bebre. I mean, people have asked so many questions. And not original and now so I want to guard him because of the phone who read them one. Did they were ain't you know which was too much. Into for 1 hour never cast away idea. Ain't you know well. What about the now Pesoka?
Oh, that's fine because he's a fantastic man. Yeah. Now we person committee to be free and no money. Yeah.
Yeah, Mansa Musa.
I don't know. If I had said you know now can
oh yes, the man appointment are now all share Galamsey so no.
Oh. Papa is a great man. Oh.
Yes. Abe, do you wanted to say something, Abe?
Yeah. Mansa Musa, I wanted to say something. You see, if you...
Okay.
Mansa Musa, you see, if you listen to Professor Frimpong Boateng speak, you could see or feel that there are a lot of Ghanaians, professionals across the board, who wanted to contribute their quota to make the country Ghana work. But unfortunately, due to political coloration, they are not able to function or contribute more effectively. And I think this is what some of us are not happy or complain about. That, okay, if you don't want somebody like Prof to contribute politically, we assume that, okay, you have probably somebody better than Prof to do the job he's supposed to do. So show us the results. Do you understand? So where you fail to show us the results, we want healthcare delivery efficiently and effectively. And if you don't do that, and you just want to present some periphery thing to us, that this is healthcare delivery, some of us will never be satisfied. Do you understand? Get the right people to do the job rather than telling us, oh, this guy doesn't belong to our party, this guy is this. So, and you people, they shortchange us. And that is what some of us can be very, very angry about what is being given to us. This man is there, and there are equal. You know the question I asked him, he said there were people outside the country who wanted to help. Unfortunately, he doesn't want to disclose some of them. But that is the thing. We expect whoever forms any government to embrace many Ghanaians. Mansa Musa, I've told you many times, the reason why MPP said we had the men, the reason, I was at most of their campaigns here. And at the time, because Ghanaians felt we wanted a change, and we thought NDC was not living up to our expectation, a lot of Ghanaians went to their campaign grounds. So that when we go there to talk, immediately they stand up, they say, oh, give us your background. We had engineers, we had scientists, we had so many Ghanaians from different walks of life. So MPP felt, we have.
So I mentioned Mansa Musa, that one is wrong. That's why it's not good enough for Abbey. All right, I hear.
You understand? So they said we had the men to do the job because Ghanaians from different walks, different professions were at their campaign grounds. So when they sample, they say, oh, we have the men to do the job. But when they want power, they sideline all these men. And they started using this reference we are seeing. Do you understand? Some of them have no clue. Look, they have no clue about the positions they are occupying up to today. Some of them are occupying positions that they don't have.
Abe, the point is, look, what you have raised is nothing new. And some people would like to do it, some people do it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Look, since the time of Nkrumah, that some people decided to boycott certain things. Up to this stage, recently, for me, as I know, two people have come to express their regret. The first one was, I think, 2019 or 20, I've forgotten that year. But do you remember a guy called PC Apia Ofori? It's PC Apia Ofori. It's the guy who came out and, who revealed that Kufuor sold the communication and they gave he said they gave every MP $5,000 or something. Do you remember that case?
Yeah, but Mansa Musa, I don't know the dimension you want to take.
No. Do you remember that case?
I've heard it, but I've not followed it.
No, I'm asking you if you remember that case. That man, he is very outspoken. Even though he's an MPP, he leaked that thing that, look, his party sold it and they were sharing the money, blah, blah, blah. So he's supposed to be patriotic. You see, you said sometimes we have to take people, if they are good, and give them assignment. This man came to say in 2019 that Mahama actually suggested to him to make him the special prosecutor that time. And he came out to say that because he's in love with MPP, he didn't take that offer. He himself, PC Apia for he's not dead, he's dead. Then recently, Sam Okujato, the lawyer, the grown-up lawyer, he has also come to express regret that they didn't join the proclamation or the formation of the what do we call it? The writing of the Constitution.
The constitutional
exactly. You see, so the thing is, we have a group who have some ideology, who always look down on other people, even if you invite them. And hey, also Senchi. You remember Senchi? NPP's people want their top men. They shouldn't join. If they join, they are in trouble. Only Ezikojo Pienimo, that accountant, economist, he's the only one who went to Senchi. So this suggestion you are bringing, it's not new. But some people, they love their party than they love Ghana. That's the problem.
Mansa Musa, for every role or for every job, you get thousands of Ghanaians to occupy that particular position.
Yes.
So you just don't want to fill that position with people with integrity, people who feel they want to use their services for the interests of Ghana.
Yes.
So if you talk to A and A says it's not do, because these Oyibo people, what they do is for every position they want the best in class. Do you understand? The best in class to deliver the job. Do you understand? So normally these best in class people will not simply behave artisanally like these people are doing. I expect that whoever forms the next government, because if it is NDC hasn't got all the skill set they need. There will be people from NDC who can deliver better. Do you understand? So these are the people we should attract because they are Ghanaians. They are willing to help the country to occupy their positions. But when we make it...
Abe, I'm supporting what you're saying, but you see, let me give you another example.
Yeah.
See, there's a woman in this country here, it's in UK, a queer Black Kofi. This woman was actually invited to go and help the tourist industry, the Ministry of Tourism. She packed her baggage, everything, and left for Ghana. Within 6 months, she herself said she ran away. He said the corruption. She just said she's in this guy. I want to even introduce her here so that she'll come and do some program here. If you Google her name, she's like one of those, artistic personalities. They are into tourism and everything. Akufo-Addo invited her. When she won, he said it's only about. They will write some monies that they are going to do some project, then they will share. And she didn't like that. She left. So the thing is, the leadership, if the leadership want things to work, my brother, even if you are a Canadian and you're supposed to be the Bank of England man, and they will bring you to come and work. But if they don't want things to work properly, they want to chop, then they will put their cousins and their wafasifu in those places.
Yeah, but Mansa Musa, the point is, yes, it is leadership. If the leader is corrupt, obviously his concern and focus will be on his corruption. And obviously the people under him will be worse than him. Do you understand? Because the people under him will be at the core face of the whole thing. Yes. And they will be more corrupt than that. Unfortunately, somebody like the lady you mentioned is somebody who valued her integrity. Probably she was somebody who was a professional. You understand? So she will not like to partake in such a thing. So as a leader, if you are upright yourself, these are the type of people. Mansa Musa, I've asked you here.
Can I say? Sorry. Okay, finish.
Okay. It's conversation. So, Abe, hold on.
Okay.
Amachi, one second. Amachi.
Yeah.
Amachi, those of you on Zoom, Amachi speaks because he's not on Zoom. I don't know if you can hear him. Amachi.
No, we can hear him, yeah.
Can we hear him?
No, he's silent.
Mansa Musa.
Yeah, I can hear him now. Yeah, Amachi, I can hear him now.
Wait, Kasana, Omusuntie.
Mansa Musa. Hello.
Yeah, Amachi, let's go. Yeah, you.
Who break you up? I said they break this around. Maybe me flow, and I said me flow because
flow,
Kasa.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Mansa Musa, say big kakra. Yana ubi maso kasano. Yani ya kasa ya mixi mu na ya
tiefo bia. Problem ni how Amachi kasa ye tie ye Ghana for.
That we yan can say yen say. Was that Minia Captain Smart? Yeah, that nan saying no kasa asamono. Ya mixi mu kakra na tiefo bia on to win yi. And you bia no boti vocabs be ni manima bia
so. No, Amachi the entire man about the me bo. Yeah, Amachi me emfa tap no discuss we. The entire tell me Amachi the entire ma ye de brofun say me hwe screen so a omo egu so no enyo mu nyina na etiasa no anatwi. Enti na me frɛ prof no by me ye nyina kan brof no. That's the only thing. But then and yeah, by force, so be a camp.
Who break up for me?
So ask Amachi, he wants me to speak in Ga, if he can understand.
Amachi, what do you mean, cafe?
Yeah. I feel a kapa.
Me say,
yeah, go on.
The entire ma, ye can't bro phone say, me share screen, or mom begu so zoom no so. And your munina to me can't a can on our motias here. Ain't he me fan sabe, se broken crying in I bet entina ye can't bro phone. But that doesn't mean say Oba say by force I say also be cambrofo because I be say minim so on titwi no inti say abe so eating crying nti ono so kan crying hebe da tiase nti na na ye cambrofo nti wo de me anya argument bia me dia advice a wo ba no metiase say see ye kan krom kasa ba ya brabo na e wa Africa ho no e din ma ye kakra because abrofo no abe ma ye culture and ye nyina ye follow anyway Amachi ye tie.
Well, Professor Frimpong Wating and Oka Nasamuno.
Yes, on I'm hearing the Dinko say Oko.
Champion man. Mansa Musa.
Yeah.
Germany. Aye, o might be a yena nimu say, one would do who a fat technology. Name them. One would you who deeper. It is said German for a bit you are to say, who we are soft. We are surgeon, and yes, surgeon kakeo. We are heart surgeon. That's a winning back to work.
Yes.
I do baby. I am ya in the babia. All different Professor Frimpong what they could do. I am ya today. Out of the America. But one thing say, Professor Frimpong Martins who could do babia. What would you go through and Yoma air quan and could you take us back out to back as a look?
You see, sound come away. Yanini can you know, Mr. Emmy, I said, one mamma too. Yanini can dear, I can you know, say he should have come out boldly, he should have complained, he should have left everything. But I know you know,
I don't make your leaders say, you can see from some time, ever seen Nano. Yet cherish was your force of a bad beyond because Asamono. Yet cherish a Jimmy Sam. Yan obi e wo sika wo Ghana. Ye bunu say ono 100%. Ye bu obi o wo sika. But anya sanity o wiase in the western world but bia ye ka ibia no. Nya sanity.
No.
Mansa Musa, but then you bet me the Scotch now. You need to go for me, no, we are all did that Bontinia. Omukocha Lotua, win millions of Roma.
Yes.
They become very rich overnight. However, then but could be crowd friend lottery lamp to say, oh, no, outside land in hall. Or to BMW, a fan saying, most vehicles are, or the year near money of a bray, I tell the watching and wing. Woman, Sandy Paddy, you know, I was at this one. But a brofo actually show beer, or be a knowledgeable people. You're too sample at this one, you're too sample upon technocrats, engineers, scientists, doctors, heart surgeons, Professor Frimpon Wattenum. At this one, you're first out for 2 upon. I'm on money, I couldn't say yes. Ya my homeless. Ama ya bibi ama ya my other yekuro atumpong. But what do we see out there? Oh, yekuro. That make a bibi say we lady ya. Or we see on taking place. Ebony we are. Lady Bia or taking the place. Ya from the DB of the friend. Or to two new being Nanado Penve, Mahama so Penve. Sa lady, one more Emma Nakunatanaso. Our Jubilee House of Taifa. So Nanado, a hosting one. One in a casa, 18 Como, one more series. This are who said. Would be engineer by Anna Nanado, a friend. Say, Omra no Montanasi. Na Omisan and you want to say, we need the Akura, you find the young Fanko. You free Uncle Siva. Footballers. Footballer be assembly to Noir. Now, a bandwagon, no matter no with the So in short terms, we entertain fools. Takantisa ka Professor Frimpon Boateng, Kanyali Babia, you not do no. And there are many more out there. And that become be a far way your first a scientist, Dr. Ekluje. Woman you are almost there's a many other engineers are more top scientists are more America are more. That by your president Nanado I call US. For could be success I go for Kramore, home running and trust in near Ninko, you say young engineer. A quiet band of Faswa. You crew, then I'm more new dear Woody away, and I will remember why you crew.
Well, yeah, Obi Kai, you talk. Wakasa, because sir, yeah, someone in the end, you know, ye crown and our canon, Quasia for a sorry pair, they more audience. American rapper ruffian be near Commando Jubilee House host a Jubilee Center honor and yes, a Jubilee reception. The place I could for do money, fellow Ghanaian speeches, no, the same a friend podium or say a friend say no we kojina anim na all rap on the songs and some hunu bebre but that is the times we live in. You see, obviously yenka say so being ye intellectual my bona baso because osaje for krano also enfum either enfum and I say agrifin one also the night beside say hey and when I left in at the bush short no all this to encourage them but I don't know apart from that Nkrumah himself we needed engineers scientists and all that and California be go training in ano hwehwe anim and na che say
I don't know
but can Yeah, but see, for me,
Edwin, so funny the film kakra. Edwin.
For me, to get things going properly, we have to look at ourselves. According to KB Asante, and I had an audience with him just a year before he passed, and he said to me, do I know one thing? And I'm sure Mr. Frimpong, the gentleman we interviewed, was also a mentor to him as well in one of the days. And he said the reason why Nkrumah declared one-party state was because he realized that when he appointed people to certain positions, people will come and say, this is a UP man, don't appoint him. But Nkrumah himself knew that these people were also qualified and he didn't have anybody in CPP who could do the job.
Yes.
Now, when people were complaining, he decided that, listen, I will declare one-party state. Because he asked Nkrumah, you know that by declaring one-party state, these people now have got an excuse to attack you. Nkrumah said, yes, I realize that, but you got to look at it from my point of view. That's Nkrumah to give the Asante conversation. Because if I didn't do that, how can I get the qualified people to do the job? Half of CPP are not qualified to do everything.
This, I mean, some understanding that the multi-party Westminster type democracy maybe it's not good for us.
I'm coming. Yes, Inti. This is why I also come back in. And sometimes when people criticize Anklata, when Anklata came in, because Anklata was mentored by KB Asante, and I know that for 100% fact, a lot of his policies were divined by KB Asante. People don't understand that. And basically, they wanted to do Nkrumahnism, but on the quiet, so that it wouldn't attract the envy of the West. So KB he was a KB's boy, totally following the certain principles. And that is why he said, okay, I'll give this position to this and this and this. And people confuse that to be father for. He was saying we cannot run the country with one-sided system.
Yes.
People misunderstood that. Now, let's run backwards in terms of some of the people who say they even regret Akufo-Addo. We know even when Akufo-Addo won the election, the first person he thanked was J.J. Rawlings. You see, and he was not even in his tradition. And one thing we have to Ghanaians understand, I keep raising the same question. We have a structural issue. And the structural issue is for all of us to fix. We cannot allow one person, like Dr. Frimpong or something, when something come up, he should put his life on the line, his family on the line, to solve the problem when we know there's a problem, but none of us are prepared to comment and force our politicians to do the thing. Where is it? Where Kennedy Japan win the election and you interview him? Put Kennedy Japan on the spot. If John Mahama or anybody, NDC come in, Mansa Musa, put him on the spot on this. Let them come out with some structure that is in the interest of Ghana, not in the interest of party. Then we can be moving forward. We can't expect one person to put his livelihood, his family, and the security of his family on the line. We know.
I think you made your point. Look,
Edwin, let me say something relating to what Edwin said. Edwin, you see, we have the structural issue has to do with the fact that our governance institutions are not functioning or they are weak. Mansa Musa, I listened to the IGP. He summoned to Parliament, and I felt very disappointed. Do you understand? Our institutions are weakened by the fact that most of them are politically aligned. They don't have independence. On paper, they are supposed to be independent, but they are not. And also, as Edwin was saying, we have not structured them properly. The governance processes relating to these institutions are not effective. Mansa Musa, if you listen to the IGP talk, everything is around the word I. It's about his own personal achievements. I was expecting him to say one or two policy issues, maybe systems he might have brought in the police, but everything was about his own personal achievement, his qualifications, the way he started.
Okay, Abe, for that one, maybe you didn't appreciate.
You didn't hear all
maybe
of it.
you didn't appreciate what the question was coming. I mean, how the question was structured, because he has been brought there to come and almost unfairly to prove his mettle or to prove his capability or credibility. His credibility was at stake. So if he was using I, maybe that was the reason.
I haven't finished. Let me finish. We are not interested in his personal achievement.
No, Abe, you still not getting it. Abe, Edwin, 1 second, please. Abe, you are still not getting it. The man was sent there, you see, to come and explain himself about some allegations. And the allegations were all about his personal performances. So he had to answer the questions like that.
Of course, personal competence cannot be found in competence to do the job. But this thing has to do with your performance on the job, not your qualifications.
No, but Mr. Abe didn't answer. Please, on the IGP side, he mentioned a lot of the achievement of the police service. He went to say, when he started, he said, I will defend him. He said, he went on to say that we've achieved things because we built on the experience of our past people.
He said
all that. He said to you, okay, let me finish. When you are traveling in certain areas, you mentioned certain areas where there was armed robbery from, I don't know I don't know Ghana very well, so forgive me. Certain areas from Kumasi to Cape Coast on Fosu region, certain region from Brongahapu to the northern region, certain region from Wadi. There were hotspots where there were bandits who were killing people and all sorts of things. And he mentioned that how all of these things have been reduced. He mentioned about 7 or 8 or 9 different areas. And he says, we as a police force have achieved all that. And he said, even this question...
You see, Edwin, this is why we are shortchanged. All these things you are bringing about, they were things achieved on a firefighting basis. We need a complete transformation of the police force.
Okay,
these things, this hotspot or this sort of firefighting thing, it's not sustainable. If the IGP is not there anymore, somebody else is coming to do something different.
The policy has been set. The policy has been set in place. It's working. So there's a methodology.
You know that policy?
No, it's the policy. If somebody comes in. Can I say something?
If I have to come in, I want the listeners to understand. You see, Edwin, 1 second. Edwin, I say to this everybody, anytime the presenter comes in, please give the chance. I will let you speak. Look, I want the listeners to understand where the argument is coming from now. And that is, Abe started by saying, you, Abe, don't understand why he was referring to I himself and everything. And I'm trying to explain to you that the man was brought there because his personal integrity was at stake. So the question, the answers he was giving, Abe, 1 second. The answers he was giving, he was like proving himself to the group or the inquisitors. He was trying to prove himself. So that one, I don't think he has done anything wrong.
Mansa Musa,
can I clarify an issue?
Why we are not changed. That is why we are more. These are embellishments. I mean, personal. I'm not interested in his personal achievements.
No. Please.
I don't want to understand.
Improvement in the police force, which is sustainable.
Mr. Abe, that is why I would say.
Mr. Abe, you know what? Let me explain this issue. Can I come in?
Come in.
Yeah, I've been listening. The issues to do with the IGP, he brought about his credentials on one issue because the COP alleged that the IGP had many of his promotions based on his allegiance to NDC. So he used his educational qualifications to justify why he had those numerous promotions within a space of time. So that's why he used those qualifications that he attained when he attained the is it the chartered accountant and others, where he was promoted to some levels. And so he used those qualifications that he attained to justify, because in police service, they said they have about 3 or 4 types of promotions. One will be on your competencies, it will be on your certificate, it will be on maybe special duties and others. So he used that to justify why, because it got to a point where he was below the COP, but he was able to being promoted beyond the COP. So he used it to justify why you had those promotions, but not because he was aligned to any political party. That's why he used that to justify.
My friend, hold on. You people don't understand what. Look, so why is it that he also said, oh, he's very thankful to the president and all those things?
Please, you see, can I say something?
Listen,
I mean,
Edwin, Edwin, one second. We'll be going round in a second. Look, I bet he didn't understand the beginning, the concept. I mean, the context.
There's no concept here.
Did you sit down to listen to the full inquest?
Mansa Musa, look, your personal qualifications or your personal effort in achieving the qualification doesn't give you
Abe,
that sort of
you are not listening to everyone.
or that
Abe, 3 people cannot be wrong. All the 3 of us cannot be wrong.
Abe, you don't understand.
Abe, the thing, they brought the man there. The man, I'm thinking he shouldn't have been brought there at all. But he was his integrity, his achievement, or his rise to the top was being challenged. His rise to the top was being challenged. So they asked the question as to how he thought, he has risen to the level of IGP, and he had to explain himself.
That's why we are where we are.
So it was
because
the
we are
question.
interested in people's qualifications, that what they've achieved in that qualification.
It was the questions that brought the answers.
No, Abe, you are
it's not his fault.
Listen, Mansa Musa, listen, I say this again. When you go for an interview, right, you have to...
I'm actually, remember last word, don't worry, maybe 1 second.
Okay, when you go for an interview, you have to tell what you did, what you personally can achieve, and what you personally done with the group. They want to know you as an individual and the group also as a system, and how you fit with the group and how you assist with the group. Now, if you are in a job and they said you are underperforming, and they call you, and I've been that again, they call you and say, explain to yourself why there's underperformance in a section, you have to be able to explain it in a manner that will carry the case. Where they said, somebody will say to you, but I'm sorry, you only here because this person who just left the company like you, and therefore they put you there. You have to explain to them, no, it isn't because of that. It's because of this, and this, and my addition of what I contributed, and therefore you emphasize what you did. Because
my friend Edwin, if you have brought in an interview issue, when you go to an interview in this part of the world, your qualification, discussion about your qualification doesn't take about 5% of the interview. It doesn't take 5% of your interview.
Listen. Look, I'm getting some what we call messages. Abe, all of us cannot be wrong. Like what the way. You see, we understand that maybe you thought,
against one person, the 10,000 can be wrong and the one person can be right.
No, Abe, on this particular case, we are not the stupid ones here. Listen, somebody can be asked a question, and how you want it to be answered. Sometimes you may be right, sometimes you yourself you may be wrong. The thing is, I'm saying the IGP, to me, if you ask me, this inquisition, he shouldn't be brought there at all. But since he was brought there, the questions they ask him, that the answer he gave. If they are asking him that, look, the accusation is that you achieve your ranks because of your affiliation to one party, one particular party. And he is saying, no, I've got this academic behind me, a certificate. I've done this, I've done this training, I've gone to these courses, I've excelled in this, I've been able to perform since I was maybe constable, this and that and that. He has to prove himself all over again.
So what did he perform? I'm interested in the outcome of the qualifications. Do you understand? I'm not interested in whatever qualification is holding. What is the
this will not
outcome?
go anywhere.
What is the impact?
Let's move on from this topic. Let's move on from this topic.
Let's move on.
Mansa Musa,
I want to give the last word to I have to give the last word to Amachi. It's already gone past 10, and I have to give the last one. Amachi, Bompai Mani Uncle.
Yes. Mansa Musa, Mami for a few years now, me for Futuma, Yeni Yanumi Yenuya, Unio Magiuno. As on Betiemia, PLO Lubumba, Mami Arekana, Julius Malema of South Africa, and a Captain Smart in Ghana. Woman go Tiom, no woman Tiom slogan on some Mokano. Na omu ento saadiano na ebeboa ye nyina am ye di Africa abedu babia akodu babia pese ye de kwai e presa saa kinye na omu di a ateki utam ni ade nyina no it doesn't hold water. Mansa Musa se obi se udua dua bi wo fie na udua dua na esi wo fie no e fura se so niema bi a wo mpa a den na sa wo ye I said, Uchebiano, a choir of us over Chebiano, a whole finance, a whole and I said, your president would get us open. Sir, IGP here and there, front and back, any idea, one more car, any idea, Nano. And whatever be a idea free bano. 1992. And that's our two parties way. One best side security system, no. The security services in Ghana. I say, MPP for our Omukam, NDC for our Omukam. That was from 1992. I almost start constitution. Jerry, uniform Guya offer.
Amachi, well, United say. A part a inter-party and as a multi-party a friends of democracy no and my
nasa a monarch rule King Charles
Mansa Musa, yes. If somebody tells you that the multi-party or democracy is not good for you, that person doesn't know how democracy works. Democracy works on the discipline of controls, and we Africans don't have that discipline. Period.
Mansa Musa,
that is what we are saying it's not good for us. Yeah.
We don't have the discipline.
We have the tribal tendencies.
We need a military leader. I don't value any military leadership.
Can I say something, please? You see, historically, and this is not in white man books, and we're going to call here.
Yeah.
Historically, when Plato said, democracy by the people, for the people, as by the people, or whatever it goes to say, and the one thing that they missed from it is as practiced in Cartagena. Carthage.
Yes.
Our forebearers was the one who started democracy over 2,500-3,000 years ago. The remnants of people who exist in Ghana today.
Yeah.
We must never forget, and therefore our ancestors had the discipline. What we lack today, that one, Abe, I agree with you, is lack of discipline. I keep saying this again and again and again.
Mansa Musa.
We put a constitution in place when we know the constitution was weak. Let me finish. We put a constitution in place when everybody knew, even at the time it was put in place, it was weak.
Listen,
we thought there would be people.
Anyway,
quick one. We thought there would be people who would be sensible enough.
What is it doing in here?
Quick one. We thought there
would be people who is disciplined enough to be able to carry the system properly. But we know that when the devil himself comes, it is almost impossible for him to do anything. It's so we need to fix the problem. If there's a law that the president, you cannot appoint set amount of members of your family into place, You don't do it, you fell foul of the law. And when the police,
all right,
who is
you made a point. Listen,
exactly.
How much my last tone in Enko?
Mansa Musa, all what we did is we find a way. Either say civil revolution or whichever way. Now you just said the whole telling you a central overhaul. Almost no. Since 1992, and the
people revolution. The people revolution is what brought you this porous constitution. As far as I'm concerned, the people's revolution is what brought this constitution, which is a nightmare. 40 years from the time that people were killed, and what will we getting?
All right.
What are we getting? Mansa Musa, you see the area Edwin has gone. That is a source of our problems. You understand? Mansa Musa,
one man at a time. You see, America. No, you guys are not being fair. When you people speak, I allow you to speak. But when Amachi is speaking, then you come in. Amachi,
let Amachi go. Amachi go, yeah.
A solution must be found. And you can want to know. One man says system, no, it means to be you never find a solution, no. I know you see a puzzle. Now, you're talking front and back and here and there, all sort of vocabs and all that, you know. It's not going to lead us to anywhere. And tell me, Professor Julius Malema, PLO Lumumba, and the Mamia Recana. So, almost some still be beer, almost still be beer, almost every time of one. But some vocabs here and there, you know, it has nowhere.
Amachi, we have nothing to learn from those people. Implementing whatever is going on is where we are now. They are also saying their mind. But what is happening in Ghana, look, let me tell you. When we say weak institutions or our institutions are not working, the people we have nominated to occupy those institutions are the people who are letting us down, like the Electoral Commission, like Yopo, like whatever all these means are happening. They are the people who are not helping us. Look, Donald Trump is not having his own way because the institutions are working.
Gentlemen, what I would say is that in the nutshell, really, I feel sad to even hear that, now it's because of the revolution, because
of course, nothing was no revolution, that was insurrection.
Fair enough, because of that, today we are suffering. Look, the point is, let me tell you this. See, the constitution we are blaming today, yeah? Now we've got the extreme end of human behavior, a bad leader. So it is making the constitution look like shit. I have to say this on air. It's making the constitution blamable. At the same time, this very constitution, if you get a good leader, he will work with this constitution and everybody will be clapping. We have to look at that as well. Don't give excuses to. Once again, we don't have to give excuses to people who are completely dumb-witted, people with crooked minds, people who have decided that they are using their family connection to enrich themselves, and now we are blaming the constitution. So if you take a person opposite of Nanado and put him as president, he will make this constitution work and work properly. Tell me that the constitution has everything written against what is her name? Jean Mensa is doing. The constitution is there. Everything is there against what she's doing. But she's doing it anyway. Because the president has provided her with plenty bodyguards. She doesn't care. It's not the constitution. The people are crooked.
Mansa Musa, what you were saying, NDC came to power. Did they allow that constitution to work?
All what you are saying, it's 100%. You are 100% right. But Mansa Musa, the solution now.
No, understand. NDC, did they make the constitution work like you are saying?
And now, sir, a fine boy is like 1979.
Can I say something?
Anyway,
Anyway,
me, I
I have
support
to leave
Amachi
you, so we'll
that
catch
there
up
should be
later.
another 79.
Edwin,
Yes.
I'll get your contact from Mansa Musa and we'll catch
We
up.
need it.
Listen,
But
I will give you all
one
your
more.
contacts to every. Look, I'm going to give you all the contacts you need. Don't worry. But I support Mansa. I support Amachi. There should be another 79.
Mansa Musa will catch up later. I need to go now.
There
So
should.
now,
Abe, listen. I said there should be another 15 May and another 79.
Yes.
You can have another 15 May, you can have another
That will be the
79,
solution.
but it will not achieve anything.
Well, at least it will clean up the system for a while. People who are for vanity. People who are
if you go to Rwanda one. If you go to Rwanda,
you fall down well. Look, I appreciate all of you, your presence. Thank you very much and good night.
Thank you.
bye.
Right, so this is where I end the show. It's gone past 10:16 already. Me damu nyina se mo amunya kwan ene ebedi nkomo mo nso amutie. Me damu nyina se mo ade. Nyame boa ochina. Hopefully we'll come and do it all over again. But let me say that on Sunday, this Sunday coming, the maiden program on our television, which is New Face TV, New Face Television. I will come and do one-on-one with one of the NDC politicians here. It is one-on-one with one of the NDC politicians on Sunday morning. I think it's for the time will be from 11 a.m. So watch it and watch the TV. Brilliant. We're a live television show. So let's hope everything goes well. But all of you who took part in the discussion, deliberation, and everything, I thank you all very much. Have a good evening. Have a good night. God bless you. God bless me. God bless everybody. Thank you and good night.
NFM Radio. NFM Radio.